Tuesday, the 14th of March, 1944. I'm sitting at the Van Daan's table with a handkerchief over my mouth. Why? Let me start at the beginning. They've arrested the people who bring our ration tickets, so we don't have any fats or oils. Miep and Mr. Clayman are ill again, and Bep can't go shopping for us. The food is awful. Lunch today is potatoes and some very old vegetables out of bottles. They smell terrible, which is why I have the handkerchief. We've got to eat them too. I feel sick when I think about it. Half the potatoes have gone bad, and we have to throw them away. If life here was pleasant, the food would not matter so much. But it's the 4th year of the war, and we are all in bad moods. Saturday, the 18th of March, 1944. I've written so much about myself and my feelings, so why shouldn't I write about sex too? Parents are very strange about sex. They should tell their sons and daughters everything at the age of 12. But instead of that, they send them out of the room when anyone talks about sex, and the children have to try and find out everything by themselves. Then, later, the parents think that the children already know it all, but usually they don't. Soon after I was 11, they told me about periods, but I didn't know where the blood came from or what it was for. When I was 12 and a half, one of my friends told me some more. She told me what a man and a woman do together. Well, I had already guessed. I was quite proud of myself. She also told me that babies don't come out of their mothers' stomachs. Where everything goes in is where the baby comes out. Children hear about sex in bits and pieces, and that isn't right. Although it's Saturday, I'm not bored. I've been up in the attic with Peter. I sat there dreaming with my eyes closed, and it was wonderful. Sunday, the 19th of March, 1944. Yesterday was a very important day for me. At 5 o'clock, I put on the potatoes to cook, and Mother gave me some sausage to give to Peter. But he wouldn't take the sausage, and I thought it was because of the awful quarrel that we had recently. Suddenly, my eyes filled with tears. I took the plate back to Mother and went into the toilet to cry. I decided to talk to Peter. After the washing up, I went to his room. We stood by the open window as it grew dark. It's much easier to talk like that. He didn't refuse the sausage because of our argument, but because he didn't want to look too greedy. Then we talked about so much together. It felt good. It was the most wonderful evening I've ever had in the annex. We talked about our parents and our problems with them. I told him how I cry in bed. He said that he goes up to the attic when he is angry. We talked all about our feelings, and it was just as good as I imagined. We talked about the year 1942 and how different we are now. He thought that I was a noisy, annoying girl at first. I thought that he was uninteresting. I told him that we are like two sides of the same coin. I am noisy and he is quiet, but also that I too like peace and quiet. I said that I understand why he goes away to be alone sometimes, and that I'd like to help him when he argues with his parents. "But you always help me," he said. "How?" I asked, very surprised. "Because you're always cheerful." That was the nicest thing he said all evening. He must love me now as a friend, and I'm so grateful and happy for that. Wednesday, the 22nd of March, 1944. Things are getting more and more wonderful here. I think that true love may be happening in the annex. Everyone has made jokes about us, saying that we might get married if we are all in the annex long enough. Perhaps those jokes aren't so silly at all. I'm sure now that Peter loves me too, but I don't know in what way. Does he just want a good friend, or a girlfriend, or a sister? Oh, when I think about Saturday night, about our words, our voices, I feel very satisfied with myself. For the first time, I don't want to change anything that I said.